Today, there was another Nintendo Direct, so obviously everyone has broad and contradictory feelings about it. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint, where I'd like to keep this quick. I just drank an enormous coffee.
Why?
Gotta keep it energy up, gotta keep it snappy.
Then write shorter stories.
No! Microsoft has clarified their position on platform exclusivity or not with a statement on their so-called new set of open App Store principles that's just delectably corporate, so I'd like to run over it a bit. In the opening paragraph, Microsoft states very plainly, quote, "We have developed these principles in part to address Microsoft's growing role and responsibility as we start the process of seeking regulatory approval in capitals around the world for our acquisition of Activision Blizzard," which is the corporate equivalent of when Marshawn Lynch showed up to Media Day, quote, "only so I don't get fined." They're saying, hey, we want to make sure nobody thinks we're going to do a monopoly here, so to get out ahead of that, here's all the ways we're not going to ruin gaming. They go on to discuss specifics of their new principles, and it's honestly very good things, like we will treat apps equally in our App Store without unreasonable preferencing or ranking of our apps over others, or we will not require developers in our App Store to use our payment system to process in-app payments. But while that's all good to know for developers and industry geeks, like, for example, the kind of people who make a weekly show ripping on gaming news, most consumers are just curious about, but will Call of Duty still be on PS5? As if you can even find PS5s. Well, they do clarify that also, and I'm going to read the whole paragraph. Quote, "To be clear, Microsoft will continue to make Call of Duty and other popular Activision Blizzard titles available on PlayStation through the term of any existing agreement with Activision. And we have committed to Sony that we will also make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement and into the future, so that Sony fans can continue to enjoy the games they love. We are also interested in taking similar steps to support Nintendo's successful platform. We believe this is the right thing for the industry, for gamers, and for our business." First of all, I love calling it Nintendo's successful platform, because it sounds like, sure, your younger brother can play with us. What's his name? We'll put him in goal. But it's a different turn of phrase that I'm especially interested in. We will continue to make Call of Duty and other popular Activision Blizzard titles, whatever I guess Microsoft decides those are, available on PlayStation through the term of any existing agreement, and we have committed that we will also make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement. And that could mean a lot of things. We will make them available for a truckload of money. Oh, Call of Duty is available on the far side of this obstacle course. Sure, it's available, but first you have to say that Sony is doo-doo and Microsoft is the best, and make your little brother Nintendo say it too.
Wordle! You love it, your mom loves it, and game developers love it. So much that there seems to be a newly blossoming subgenre of Wordle-likes. I'm not even talking about games like Dordle, Wordle, Loodle, Absurdle, Eldro, Lordle of the Rings, or the hockey-themed Gordle. Those are all still word games. Wordle with a twist, if you will. I'm talking stuff that is a little more transformative, like Semantle, where you try to hone in on the word by guessing its meaning. Squirtle, which applies the mechanics to Pokemon. Global, where you guess countries by proximity. And Dunglion, where you guess the best party loadout for a dungeon crawl. What's next? A Wordle but for ingredients, where you're making a secret dish? Probably. Wordle Souls-like? Wordle rhythm games? Wordle visual novel? Wordle dating sim? Please, yes, anything. I crave distraction.
Remember the Intellivision Amico? We talked about it at some point, I think. The last couple of years kind of blend together. Actually, I'd been sure it was supposed to have been released by now. Oh, it was? Well, why hasn't it? What do you mean that's my job? Oh, my job. Well, honestly, we don't know why the Intellivision Amico has been delayed, but we have a slew of probable reasons. The whole COVID supply lines and chip shortage issue is a big one, but also so is the $1.3 million Intellivision paid to an electronics manufacturing firm with whom they now have an unspecified contract dispute and may not be able to get their money back. Or perhaps because the whole endeavor seems woefully mismanaged and ill-conceived, which may only be an opinion, but it's still one I'm kind of afraid to say out loud in case Tommy Tallarico bursts through the wall and angrily attacks my knees. I don't think he lives around here anymore, but still. We'll get into some of that shortly, but a brand new trailer for the console is what's worrying me because it pinpoints who they think their target market is, and I don't know if these people exist. It makes a huge deal about how the earliest consoles, the Atari, the Intellivision, the Coleco, nurtured family play and brought families together in a laughter-filled living room. But then in the 90s and 2000s, there was a shift. And please, let's just watch a clip because I can't do it justice.
An integral part of childhood culture. But by the mid-90s, the video game industry took a turn. Easy-to-play games became sophisticated. Controllers became complicated, and consoles became expensive. Sadly, family play was replaced by solo play, and rooms full of laughter were replaced by insulating headsets.
That's weird, right? Right? Your target demographic is people who played video games as kids and have fond memories of playing Rogue or Asteroids with their family, but who then presumably stopped playing video games and want to recapture that feeling, but don't know about things like the Switch because they haven't played a video game since the 1980s. The games will be nonviolent with no foul language, and that's fine, but they also look bad. And the whole trailer feels like it's being directed at 1980s parents, except that was 40 years ago. We're the parents now, and you're hitting the wrong nostalgia buttons. We don't want a console with paddle controllers to play Asteroids because we had an Atari. We want a skin for our Switch that's black with orange lines and big wooden accents because we had an Atari. Yeah, like that, but on a console people actually want. Now, after that weird pitch, the trailer takes an even weirder turn when it boasts about how Intellivision, in its current form, has raised $17 million to produce this machine. The trailer stops short of asking for more money, but that's coming soon because that $17 million may not be enough. In a required filing to the Securities and Exchange Commission, explained in much more detail by Ars Technica, the company has spent most of that money, has never made money, and unless it raises more money in a forthcoming investment round, will only have enough cash to stay operational until July. And because you have to be exhaustively clear with all possible risks in an SEC filing, the whole thing reads very grim. We are competing against other recreational activities. Our trademarks could be unenforceable. The company is vulnerable to cyber attacks. We may never have an operational product or service. And yes, that's true of many companies. And you have to be really clear about all your risks when you're taking people's money. But also, do you have confidence that this is going to be able to surmount those risks? In conclusion, you might be saying, look, Graham, because that's usually how people pronounce my name, you're being too harsh. Comparing this fun little toy to the Switch is silly because this is a budget device for chill family goof times. Except it's not. They're selling it for $249 US. A regular Switch is only $50 more. And I don't mean they will be selling it. I mean they are selling it. It's up for pre-order right now. But don't, because you might never see it. And speaking from experience, the last time I bought a console I was fairly certain would never arrive as a joke, I ended up $150 out of pocket to Soulja Boy. And now, Beej's fresh takes on the latest Nintendo Direct. Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
You wouldn't inhale a car. I mean, I might if it was this meme-worthy. Have you seen that new VLC icon? Exquisite.
Earthbound.
Look, I was there, and I still can't believe this is happening. Warning, you're going to need Nintendo Switch Online for this one.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Track DLC.
And while you're getting NSO for Earthbound, 48 new tracks of Mario Kart is also nothing to sneeze at. Even if you buy the DLC, which is an option for like $25, that's like 50 cents a track, and there hasn't been a good 50-cent track in years.
Chrono Cross.
Chrono Cross is getting a remaster and the release of the text adventure game that it was based on. I can't wait to play another game featuring my good friend Frog.
Lego Brawls.
Forget new sword users. Now we can smash as Spaceman, Construction Worker, and glow-in-the-dark Ghost. Next up in the fighter pack, some sort of knight, but he wields a shovel?
Front Mission.
Front Mission 1 is also getting a remake, which I'm only mentioning because if I don't, all y'all will tear us apart in the comments.
MLB The Show 22.
If Shohei Ohtani plays for the Angels, then why am I seeing twins? Also, if you liked that manga-style cover, too bad it's not coming out for the Switch version. Maybe we'll get some Hanafuda cards or something.
No Man's Sky.
Hello, games! The big surprise here is that despite being set in space, No Man's Sky for Switch does not appear to run in the cloud.
Assassin's Creed, the Ezio Collection.
And neither does this.
Live Alive.
Are we sure it's not Live a Live?
Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread is getting free updates. One to make the game harder, one to make the game easier, and one that ends up in every Metroidvania for some godforsaken reason.
Front Mission 2.
Oh shit, I forgot. Well, consider this a trap to catch everyone who pauses mid-video to write their comments.
Nintendo Switch Sports.
The night before the Direct, I thought how funny it would be if they updated Wii Sports. So, for next Nintendo Direct Eve, I'm asking Miyamoto Santa for a new Nintendo Land.
Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Nah, I'm just fucking with you.
Well,
Mario
that was-
Strikers Battle League. It's like Rocket League, but Mario and Bowser are giants.
No, Beach, we're in the outro now. The bit's over.
3. Salmon Run, more like slammin' fun.
Come on, man, I gotta pee.
Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival. Feels so much like an acid trip, you can play as a cloud of weed.
Paul, just go to the credits, see if it'll reset him.
Coming up, according to data miner Lance McDonald, the PS5 remake of Demon's Souls still has 4 items hidden somewhere that nobody has found. Oh hey, maybe he could make a Wordle-like for everyone to guess what they're called. Do we want to do that outro again? Did I step on you too much?
No, I think that was fine. I think it kept the energy up.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Demon Souls,
Yeah.
actually, this was a story that I thought was interesting. So there's recently been a what do you call it? A vulnerability identified with Dark Souls for PC.
Oh.
Where, because it's online, the games are online, there's network stuff, and you can invade other people's games and things like that, and you can do PvP fights and things, where a malicious actor could take over control of your computer.
Oh.
So that's bad. And FromSoft has identified the problem, and they are working on it. But they do have this like teeny small like little thing called Elden Ring that's taking up some of their time at the moment.
I see.
And so they've taken down the network capabilities of Dark Souls for PC.
Oh, like a stopgap until they can fix it.
Yeah, so that's Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 on PC only. They're just like network functionality on those 3 games disabled for now until after Elden Ring comes out. Because they're like, we know what the problem is. We're working on fixing it. We have to make sure that this doesn't happen for Elden Ring. And we kind of need to focus on this because people are going to be real mad if this doesn't work when it comes out. And then once Elden Ring is out, then we'll fix Dark Souls.
And I guess if you're in the business of we've made 3 games for PC. I mean, those are all on other platforms. But like we've made these 3 games for PC that all have the same vulnerability. There's a chance that maybe some of that code has snuck its way into our next game that's coming out as well.
Yeah,
I
so
can understand that.
They're working on fixing that.
That's
so yeah. Oh, and you would have seen this.
Oh, sure, I would have.
The story about Baguette Boy.
Oh yeah. That was a good little story about from Assassin's Creed. From BioShock Infinite.
BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, I was like, it took place in Paris. No, it doesn't. But yeah.
The bit in BioShock Infinite where you're like, because you vorp to different places.
Yeah.
Briefly, and at one point you're in Paris, and they were like, they had. They have various background NPCs, and they're like, can we get something like dynamic? And so they're like, we'll have like a little boy doing a dance around this like this not fountain, but like around this
cylinder
column in a town square. This is great because we can use the animation we already have of a couple dancing from the scene that everyone will have seen of Elizabeth dancing around in a circle with people all sort of around her.
Right, but when the person who was making this, when they were actually putting it together, they were like, "Oh crap, a kid is the wrong proportions." And so if you have two kids dancing with each other, it's all messed up.
Yeah, so they were like, "Okay, well we'll just do one kid dancing in a circle," but the problem is mapping the adult animation data to the child model meant that the kids' hands were at the height of the adult's hands. So the adult's hands were down here. And so when they put it on the kid's like dancing like this. And so they're like, what are we going to do? Well, we're in Paris. Let's make the kid hold a baguette. Mm-hmm. And so there's just this boy dancing around in a circle carrying a baguette. And
endlessly.
It's the most sketch comedy like Bienvenue à Paris.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, welcome to Paris. Here's our dancing baguette child. Like,
and it's kind of iconic. There have been cosplays about it. Like, yeah I love that. I thought that was great.
It very much puts me in mind of the Fallout subway head.
Yeah, but what's funny about that is it's like the guy in Fallout who was made to run very fast because he was invisible and he was wearing the subway train as a hat.
As a hat, yes.
Yeah.
Not a head.
The difference with that is that that's something they came up with to, like, we need a way to make this tram run, so this is how we're going to kludge it. And in this case, it's like, I just want to put something in the game, and then it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, I've been working at this for a week trying to make it work, and then here's what I've come up with, and you get to the end of your work, and you turn around and you look at where you started, and you're like, how the fuck did I get here?